And I did that for a long time. And it just doesn't, I mean, if you think about, like living it up and doing this and that's your last day, what are you going to do? If it's absolutely my last day on earth, there's a good chance I might, grab some pills and get a bottle of booze and just say, well, it's my last day, whatever. But if it's my first day, I have a long ways to go, and it's going to be, my attitude towards that day is going to be much, much different. It's still living, it's still living a good life and living it up, but it's, it's different in that, you're getting curious about your world, and it's that childhood curiosity, and
Podcast where everyday people share the codes that shaped how they see life, bringing you daily doses of gentle wisdom to carry into your own journey. This guest is Justin Shaw, former stand-up comedian turned spiritual guide who described himself as a little bit Deepak and a little bit Tupac. After walking through his own valley of addiction and trauma, he discovered what he calls source energy and now helps others find their way back to their truest selves with humor, heart, and hard-earned wisdom. Let's step into Justin's world and hear the words that helped transform his life. Tell us your name and what you do.
so my name is Justin L. Shaw. I call myself a lot of things. I make up names for myself. So I like to call myself a spiritual Sherpa, a mystical comedian, a hope dealer, and I'm an author. So, that I created kind of this system of healing to help people heal from trauma, essentially using pop culture, humor, and um, the force, sorcery. I call it source energy. So it's using all that to help heal trauma, and it's kind of a system I put in place that's, instead of steps, they're rungs. Climb a ladder, and there's healing at the top of that ladder. Essentially, that's what I do.
Okay, what's your favorite quote?
So my favorite quote is gonna have to be, the one that I really live by the most right now is to stop living life like it's my last day and start living life like it's my first. And that's really been very powerful for me because I came from a background of a lot of drug use and a lot of mental emotional illness and things, and I used drugs to help cope with that. And I was always told, live life like it's your last day. And obviously during that time period, I wanted my last day to be really high. And so, that whole philosophy of living life like it's my last day, and live it up and party and do whatever you want, and that doesn't work for me. Any sort of long-term longevity, it just, living life on my last day doesn't work. So I started living life like it's my first day, and something magical in living life like out of this sense of curiosity. Like a child would have, like, oh, what is this? And I try to look at everything that way, and things really change, when you look at things that way. And it's my favorite kind of motto in the way I look at things now. So that is definitely my favorite.
How long have you had this motto or quote?
I started kind of only a couple years. I've had a lot of fun things happen in the last 2 years in particular in my healing journey of, like getting everything together and writing this book and doing all that. So it's really been the past couple of years that a lot of healing has happened, and I've just had this turn and looking into the, being curious, especially about people. There's really something interesting about everybody, and instead of having, you can kind of, alchemy is something that back in ancient times was supposed to be, they used to turn gold into, or metal into gold. And that whole idea of turning metal into gold by some magical process, is kind of used in the spiritual world. And, emotional alchemy, which is my fifth rung or step or whatever, that's that curiosity. And that's these base emotions that we have that are like fear and like you can either be scared of someone, you can be judgmental of someone, you can be offended by someone. All these are negative emotions that we have from other people, and we can turn that into something else by being curious about them. If someone is offending you, if you start you know getting curious about what's going on inside of them, that they're doing this to you, like it creates a sense of empathy. Like it's not even you don't even just let it go. Like it doesn't even affect you that way. You now have a sense of empathy for this person, and why they're flying off the handle and being like this, and it's that whole idea of curiosity and being curious in particular about people. Jealousy is another one. You can get curious about why, instead of just feeling jealous, that's not a good emotion. You can kind of alchemize that emotion and get curious about why there's something about this person that I actually respect. What is that? And what is that trait? And maybe I can learn more from them. And, why am I feeling this negative emotion towards them? And just completely turn it around. So that that motto and just getting curious about life, being curious about life has changed everything. I think we're poor observers. And if we start observing the world more closely, it really can change our state of mind, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared the quote earlier on. Start living every day like it's your first day, not your last day. And I just want us to go back to the quote a bit. What is the difference between looking at the today as one's first day versus looking at it as the last day? Because in the past, a lot of persons tell you that I try to live my every day like it's my last day.
Hmm. Yeah, and I did that for a long time, and it just doesn't. I mean, if you think about like living it up and doing this, and that's your last day. What are you going to do? I if it's absolutely my last day on earth, there's a good chance I might grab some pills and get a bottle of booze and just say, well, it's my last day, whatever. But if it's my first day, I have a long ways to go, and it's going to be my attitude towards that day is going to be much much different. It's still living, it's still living a good life and living it up, but it's it's different in that you're getting curious about your world, and it's that childhood curiosity, and it's a vastly different mindset than living life like it's your last, because that's kind of, for me, that just means like, screw it, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, like, and that's just not a good way to live life necessarily. um you can still have fun and get out there, but like living life with that curiosity as opposed to just kind of a screw it mentality. That's what I think of when I think of living life on my last day. It's like, screw it, like, I'll have, give me that ice cream sundae, like, give me the booze, or we're gonna go and do, it's just, you just throw caution to the wind. That's what last day is, whereas first day is like, okay, what am I doing here? This is interesting. What's going on? Like, it's a completely different mindset. So it's helped me tremendously in the past 2 years heal.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah. I just back to the quotes. I feel that when you said earlier on that living the day like it's your last day. It seems, well, I might as well get high. It's for me. It's this is not just the scenario of living last day or first day. It's the idea of all or nothing. And when you look at every day as your last day, for most persons, we've not even made any progress. And you're like, oh, this is the last day. Well, there's nothing I could possibly do. I might as well just have the quote unquote highness of time of life. And if we move from highness, let's go to something very close. Sometimes people, we have this mentality where we're like, either I win or I just don't even play the game, right? You're like all or nothing,
Hmm.
right? And that is not exactly a very good approach or mentality towards life, because sometimes you could get one, two, three. It doesn't always have to be all. That you say, oh, I'm not just going to do anything since there is no chance of me winning or even getting that goal or reaching that dream or any of those things.
Yep. Yeah. That's the key difference, because I mean, like, if it's your first day, there's a long ways to go. You better start learning some stuff and getting things together, and learning more about what's going on and with the world, and and getting curious. So that's the big difference. Is it's just like some people might say, "Oh, my last day," but living life the last. Think about it. Last day, you're giving up. Like that whole philosophy and mentality. If it's your last day, you've given up. Like I eat well, I work out. I do these I meditate. I do all these things that are very, very healthy. I do yoga, and if it's my last day, I'm not doing any of those things because like those are all things that make me happy and that continue my joy into the future. So if it's my last day, I'm not doing any of those things. I'm probably gonna go. If there's a comet coming and it's going to destroy humanity, I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to get drunk. I'll probably go rob the pharmacy and get some pills. Like because it's the last day. It doesn't matter. And that's no way to live. If that's your last day. So but yeah, it's the first day mentality, and let's figure things out, and we got a long time to go here. So let's get wisdom. I like to say, knowledge comes from books, but wisdom is sourced. So it's, that's wisdom is a big deal. And that's something we can all get more of if we want.
Yeah.
And curiosity is the way to get more of it.
Is Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So for me, what I'm thinking in my head right now is I'm trying to imagine what a mentality where you approach your everyday like it's your first and last day. What would that look like?
Well, I kind of went over what my last day would look like. I probably, like if there's a comet coming and humanity's over, I'm giving up. I'm every day I meditate and I do yoga and I work out and I do all these very healthy things for myself. And I try to lead a good life and put out a lot of good karmic energy because that's karma is real. That's a very real thing, and that's how things work in this world. So I try to be the best person I can be. I don't really think there are good and bad people. I think there's just people making choices of who they want to be every day. And if it's my last day, that like I said, it's on at that point. I'm not doing these things that make me feel healthy and good. I'm giving up. I'm going to get booze and probably some pills because those were my favorite things. I was just going to I would just get obliterated. I would not even notice how much I was doing or taking. I would just get absolutely obliterated. So that's what my last day would look like. And, but my first day, I'd want to start building towards something because it's like, okay, I'm here for a long time. So I need to start learning and I need to start building something. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, right? So, and if it's your first day, that's that I'd take that first step and, before you know it, you're 1,000 miles away. But first day means there's a lot of time left. And first day means, I've got a different attitude on things and I'm going to do the things I'm going to do. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to, I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat good. All these healthy things that I do for myself that make me feel really good. I'll be doing those things because I got a long way to go. So that's kind of where that mentality comes in and has helped me so much. And I try to live that and try to live that, get curious. And the most curious thing I can is about other people that, when I question both what's going on inside them, that they're maybe acting a certain way that I don't like, and then what's going on inside me that I'm recognizing, am I seeing something in myself that I don't like in them, so like getting curious about these situations. It's like, why am I judging this person? Why am I Why am I feeling this way towards this person? Is this something going on inside me? Is it something they're doing? Is it something inside them? Or is this just, like, am I seeing something I don't like about myself through them, like a mirror? Um, so that kind of curiosity is it's first day curiosity. That's that first day curiosity, and I'm all about first day curiosity.
Yeah. Um, I feel like first day, looking at first day, it's just for me. It's like, oh, every day is a new opportunity to dream big, to explore the world, to be adventurous, to try out things, to chase our dreams, to chase our goals, our passions, and all the things that we want to do. Like every day is a new slot. It's a new, it's a fresh start, right?
Yep, yeah, and that's it. That's that first day mentality. A fresh start every day. Every day we make a choice of who we want to be that day, and the carpe diem sees the day. It's building blocks. Building blocks. The pyramids weren't built in a day, right? It was very slow. I mean, maybe I guess if the aliens helped, then I guess it could have been built in a day. But probably it was built over a long period of time. And so that the end and look at the majesty and but it's just a daily. You're taking advantage of every day because you're building towards something and you're building a future for yourself. And that's what I did with the book. And I took advantage of every day and I wrote something every single day. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote until I had something amazing. So yeah, it's that first day mentality. It's about, yeah, both kind of curiosity about the world, what's going on, and building something and just taking advantage of that day and not letting days just slip by because a lot can get done in a day. Put one foot in front of the other and you'll get those 1,000 miles. And but conversely, you can always, if you put one foot in front of another, you can be 1,000. If you're in the wrong direction, then you then one step can lead 1,000 miles in the wrong direction. So it's about putting yourself in that right direction and taking advantage of the day and one foot in front of another. And that whole thing is like, I feel like I'm taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Well, that's still progress. Like I've been there in my life too, where it's still progress. So get there and take advantage of the day and be curious and carpe diem.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a very essential part of this quote is that it's a kind of quote that it's a reminder that you have to remind yourself every day. You look at the mirror and say, wow, today's an absolutely fresh start for me. What will I make of it? Right? And you smile and say, and all the ideas you have for that day, they just flash through your head and you're like, wow, I can't believe I have this opportunity to do something really, really amazing, according to you. Now, the world it's there's so much noise in the world. There's so many things, so many chaos and all that, so many distractions. How can we set up a system that we're always reminding ourselves? Because, most of the times we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. The things we value, things we believe in, we already know those things. Sometimes we just need to be reminded that today is the first day. How would you deal with it? How would you treat it? How would you use it?
I would say the best thing for people is that we have 2 types of focus. Okay, so there's convergent focus and there's divergent focus, and the way you can take advantage of each day is to start in the morning with a divergent focus in meditation. So if you're in a convergent focus, it means you're every time we're on the computer right now, if we're reading the news or we're at work or we're picking up kids or doing stuff with them, our focus is converged on one thing. And the way to really take advantage of each day and get your mind right, and get everything set is to take a meditation. Could be anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour. There are guided meditations all over YouTube for free, and there's apps or there's just silent meditations. There's a million ways to meditate, but a divergent focus will help anybody. If you create that every day, it things will change quickly because you now have cleared up your mind, and it's like taking a shower every day. I meditate every day because I'm gross and I take a shower every day, so I meditate every day because like I get the weeds of the mind, right? You got to pull those weeds and then it clears it up, and then you have a garden to plant seeds in, but you have to pull the weeds first. So it's and taking that time in meditation and creating that divergent focus, broadening the focus on everything. That's the way to start every day, and it's a way to take your attention off all these nasty things happening And it's a way to handle it, because you panicking because there's all these things going on in the world doesn't do any good for those things. Um, you know, like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. And that's how to be it, is to start with yourself, because you can't change anything else if you can't start here. And that's the way to change the world. Start here. That's it.
Oh, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Justin, for sharing with me your favorite quote and helping me make sense of it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, this is great. Yeah, no, I'm glad I can be a help for sure. For sure. That's why I do this.
In the course of the conversation, you mentioned your book, but you didn't call out the title of the book. What's the name of the book?
Yeah, so there's Sorcery 101. It's spelled with a U though. Sorcery, because it's not about wizards and robes and Harry Potter and stuff. It's spelled with a U. So source energy, which is that energy that surrounds us at all times. So it's SOURCRY 101. You can just search Justin L. Shaw and it should come up on Google. Or you can get my I'm only on Instagram right now, but it's sorcerer underscore 13 with a U. But yeah, the book is there's a lot of, if you like what I'm saying here, there's a lot of stuff in there, and there's a lot of humor too. I think that's one thing that's missing in kind of this whole spiritual journey, is that I see a lot of really funny comedians and I see a lot of really deep spiritual teachers, and I don't see a good mesh of the two. And I think that's where I come in. So it's funny, and there's a lot of good stuff in it that's deep too. So, but yeah, if you like some of the stuff I said, it's definitely worth checking out for sure.
Yeah, okay. Uh, um, yeah. Usually I ask my guests what they do and where people can learn more about them. But I feel like I asked them a question in the reverse. But I'll still ask you anyway. What do you do and where can people learn more about you?
What do I do when?
What do you do, like what do you do professionally, and where can people learn more about you? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. So you can find me in the Instagram. I'm doing the author thing right now. It's not that it's a huge moneymaker at the moment, but when you start any business, the book's only been out for like 2 or 3 months. So
Okay.
when you start any business, it's slow in the beginning, certainly, but I know it's going to build and be better. And so, like I'll probably have to get kind of a job in the meantime, whatever. But I did well with my money, so I at least have time to focus on spreading the book and getting it out there as an alternative to, healing trauma, which is what I really do. Healing trauma, it's the most important and misunderstood thing in all of humanity, and people don't really understand how to do it. And I figured out a good way to do it without the use of, doctors and pills, and that's just treating the symptoms. Doctors and pills, that's just symptom management. What the problem is spiritual bankruptcy, which is the core issue, and that is what the whole world is facing. There's so many people with spiritual bankruptcy, and they have no idea what to do about it. And the medical community, at least here in America, it's all about pills and just pills, and that ain't gonna work. It manages symptoms, but it does not cure anything. So that's what this book is about. It's about curing people.
Yeah. Oh, once again, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. This was great fun for sure.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.